Welcome back, everyone, to the local sports recap. This a New Year's Day edition. Hope everyone enjoyed their holidays over the past week. I know I did. Got to spend some time with some family. Now back after a brief hiatus to break down some of the local sports we saw over this past week. Plenty of holiday tournament action all around the tri-states, and we've still got plenty more tournament action to come here in the next month or so. But some good stuff this past weekend. We had plenty of good teams make it to the championship stages of their tournaments, to the semifinals, so plenty of that to break down. I've got a couple of the games that I went to last Friday and Saturday, and then even a game to break down from Sunday because we had a team in QHS win their whole tournament. But we had another one to talk about too as well. So let's get right into it. Had some fun stuff to shoot, getting it started with last Friday in Macomb for the Macomb Western Holiday Tournament. I saw two games on Friday night. First, we get it started with Macomb, who beat Mercer County 58-30. This one was never really much of a contest, and Macomb, who went on to finish third in this one, I thought shared the ball really well in this one. I saw Drew Watson knock down a three late in the first half, and then I believe he was the same one to do it to open the second half, so I obviously know what he can do. Malachi Connolly, who had a nice stretch there of buckets, there was one off a turnover, went the other way and scored. Saw him knock down a three-pointer from about straight away. So it seems like there's a lot of contributors when things are going well for this Bombers team, and obviously it was on this Friday night when you win by 28 points over Mercer County. And then, like I said, they go all the way on to finish third in that tournament there at Western Illinois. So that was fun stuff. I didn't mention Braden Holthouse. He obviously gets involved too. So a lot of fun stuff there from Macomb. The one I want to go into more detail of is the game that took place right after on Friday night, West Hancock, 56-42 over Eureka. This was a fun one because there was good stuff going on in both offense and defense. Cooper Knowles, who gives us plenty of highlights pretty much every time we see him, had 5 blocks in the first quarter alone. They had him finishing with 6 on the night, but like I said, I saw 5 in just that first quarter. I also saw Hunter Froman block one in the second quarter, so great defense from West Hancock all night long. And this was a game where it was really close after just a quarter, and then early on in the second quarter, Eureka took a 13-10 lead, and then almost like a flip switch from there, and West Hancock went on a 20-0 run. So they go from down 3 points to up 30-13 in the blink of an eye, all in the second quarter. So that was a pretty crazy run. I already mentioned what Knowles did on defense. He had a dunk in that second quarter, and he had 15 points, tied with Froman, who also had 15 of his own. So a pretty good balance there. This is a West Hancock team where, from when I've seen them now, I think 3 or 4 times over this past month or so, it feels like they can kind of do it with many different people on the offensive side. Like I said, Knowles and Froman on this night had 15 apiece. I've seen Siegfried have some big games. They kind of can hit you in all sorts of ways. There's even more on top of that who get involved in the scoring column. So good stuff there from West Hancock. They went on to finish second in this tournament. They lost in the championship game. So got to see a couple of your final teams in this tournament take place on Friday night and get some wins there from Macomb and West Hancock. Let's get into Saturday. I made the drive over to Bloomington for the State Farm Holiday Classic. This was a real fun one between Central Southeastern and Paris, a 56-42 win for Central Southeastern. This one was all about Lauren Miller, what she was doing on both ends of the court. Saw a couple times she stole one and took it the other way for a bucket. She finished, they had her at 20 points and had a really nice day shooting from the field. She had an and one, I'll show right about now, where she goes up with, I believe, the left hand and goes flying to the ground. A really athletic display there on that and one, but there were jumpers, even times twice where she grabbed her own rebound and went back up for a bucket. So pretty much you're able to see why when you have someone who can do all that. And this was a good team win on top of that too, but with Lauren Miller leading the charge with 20, you saw why this team went on to win the whole tournament. They three-peated in this one. So that was fun right there. It was really back and forth physical game early. Central Southeastern kind of opened up a lead a little bit as we got closer towards halftime, and then obviously they go on to get that 14-point win and then win this whole thing. But that was a fun one, and you obviously see why Central Southeastern has had success when they can do it like that, and you have your leading scorer go for 20 of your 56 points. So that was fun to see, a really good display. There were multiple times throughout this game where it was a steal on one end leading to a layup on the other. I can think of off the top of my head 2 from Miller at least. I think Niekamp had one too. There were a couple of different times of defense turning into offense situations there for Central Southeastern. I'll show all those right now while we're talking about this. But that was a good one on Saturday, and then they go on to win that tournament on Monday. Last thing I want to talk about in this video, kind of abbreviated a little bit, is what QHS did on Sunday, winning the Collinsville Classic, the 40th annual. Wasn't at this game, but was anchoring, so got to see about 3 minutes and voice about 3 minutes of highlights for this one. So that was a lot of fun as QHS gets the win over the Woodlands Christian Academy, 68-47. This is now the first time that QHS has won this tournament since 1997. Blue Devils are still undefeated and one of the best teams in the entire state of Illinois. And I think they showed all throughout this week, throughout the weekend at this tournament, how they can really hit you at all sorts of angles with whoever they have leading the charge. On this night on Sunday, it was Dom Clay who led the team with 23 points. But on top of that, you had Keyshawn Thomas, the MVP of the whole tournament. He had 20 points. Bradley Loncourt III with 16. So it's like there are just so many ways that this Blue Devil squad can get to you as an opposing team. And this one is really one they opened up. It was in the first quarter, second quarter, first half for sure when the Blue Devils kind of pulled away in this one. There was a stretch where Keyshawn Thomas hit 3 threes in a row, 9 points on just 3 shots. And when he's doing that, you already know what he can do rebounding. He just set the record about a week or so ago and what he can do in the post and the paint. But when also he's hitting shots like that and half of his points on the game are coming from three-pointers, I mean, that is incredibly dangerous on top of what Dom Clay gives you, on top of what Bradley Loncourt III gives you. Even Cameron Wires is a facilitator and a scorer at that guard position. They can do it from all sorts, and I'm not even mentioning everyone on the team with Rico Clay as well. Andreas Rice we see come in at certain points in the game. So, and even Mark Loudon hit a couple threes, at least one that I can remember for sure in this game. So a lot of fun stuff there. QHS, like I said, still undefeated, and this is the first time that they have won the Collinsville Classic since 1997. So those 4 games were big ones for us, at least in the viewing area over the past weekend. Fun stuff there on both the boys and girls side. And then even games where I wasn't at, we had some fun stuff. I think it was Brown County. We had a game winner last week on the girls side. So there were plenty of good stuff. And like I said, now that we're into January, we're through the holidays, we're still going to have plenty of tournaments upcoming. I know I'm looking a little bit ahead in 2 weeks on a little bit of extended of our viewing area. I'll probably get to see a return to Columbia with the Sophie Cunningham Classic, and we got teams in our area that'll make the trip for that one. We've got other good games on the boys' side as well, so plenty to look forward to coming up in the next couple of weeks as we get closer towards the important part of this basketball season for high schoolers as you make that push throughout the regular season, and a lot of fun stuff to come there. So like I said, abbreviated version here. Hope you enjoyed some of the recaps from this game over the past week. Plenty of highlights to come from there. I will see everyone again next Wednesday or next Thursday for another one of these recaps. Take care, everyone. I hope you had a great New Year's, happy holidays, and I'll see you in the next one.